Good evening. I am Rashi Sandeep Chudiwal. Today's date is 27/7/2021. Our today's video topic is multithreading in Java. In today's video, we will see multithreading in Java and their methods, advantages, and some features also. We will start with our today's topic. Multithreading in Java is a process of executing multiple threads simultaneously. A thread is a lightweight subprocess, the smallest unit of processing. Multiprocessing and multithreading both are used to achieve multitasking. However, we use multithreading than multiprocessing because threads used a shared memory area. They don't allocate separate memory area, so saves memory, and the context switching between the thread takes less time than process. Java multithreading is mostly used in game and animations, etc. Now we will see some advantages of multithreading in Java. It does not block the user because threads are because threads are independent and you can perform multiple operations at the same time. Now, second advantage is you can perform many operations together, so it saves time. And third advantages is threads are independent, so it does not affect other threads if an exception occurs in a single thread. Now we will see what is multitasking. So, multitasking is a process of executing multiple tasks simultaneously. We use multitasking to utilize the CPU. Multitasking can be achieved in two ways. First way is process based multitasking, or we can also say as multiprocessing. And the second one is thread based multitasking, and we can say as multithreading. So, what is process based multitasking? Process based multitasking is, or we can say also as a multiprocessing. So, each what we can say as each process has an address in a memory. In other words, we can say each process allocates a separate memory area. Now, a process is a heavyweight, and the next point is cost of communication between the process is high. And the next point is switching from one process to another process requires some time for saving and loading register memories, maps, updating list, and etc. Now, second we will see that is thread based multitasking, and we can also say as multi-threading. Threads share the same address space. A thread is a lightweight. And third point, that is cost of communication between the thread is low. And you should note one point, that is at least one process is required for each thread. I repeat my point, at least one process is required for each thread. What is thread in Java? A thread is a lightweight subprocess, the smallest unit of processing. It is a separate path of execution. Okay, and threads are independent. If there occurs exceptions in one thread, it does not affect other threads. It uses a shared memory area. Now, as we are going to see, a thread is executed inside the process. There is a context switching between the threads. There can be multiple process inside the OS, and one process can have multiple threads. Now, you should note one point, that is at a time one thread is executed only. It will execute only one thread at a time. Now we will see next point, that is Java thread class. What do you mean by that? Java provides a thread class to achieve thread programming. Thread class provides constructor and methods to create and perform operations on a thread. thread class extends object class and implements runnable interfaces. Now we will see what are the methods that we can use in multiple thread methods, multi-threading. Okay, so first that is modifier and their type is void and method is start. Start method means it is used to what we can say as it is used to start the execution of the thread. Now next that is modifier and the type is that is void, and the next method that is run method. It is used to do it is used to do an action for a thread. Okay, now third modifier and the type that is static void, and the method is sleep method. Okay, it sleeps a thread for the specified amount of the time. It sleeps the thread for the specified amount of the time. Now modifier and the type that is static thread, and the method that is current thread method. It returns a reference to the currently executing thread object. Now we will see the next that is modifier and the type that is void, that is fifth one, and method is join, and it waits for a thread to die. Join method waits for a thread to die, and the modifier and the type next that is sixth one, that is int, and sixth one the method is get priority. What do you mean by get priority? It returns the priority of the thread. What? It returns the priority of the thread. Modifier and the type that is void, and the method is set priority. It changes the priority of the thread. Set priority changes the priority of the thread. Now we will see next that is modifier and the type that is string, and the method is get name. It returns the name of the thread. It will return the name of the thread. And next modifier that is void, and method is set name. It changes the name of the thread. Now next modifier that and the type that is long, and the method that is get id. It returns the id of the thread. Get id method returns the id of the thread. Now next that is modifier or the type that is boolean, and method is alive. It tests is the thread is alive. Now next method that is yield, and the modifier and the type is static void. It causes the currently executing thread object. It causes the currently executing thread object to pause and allow the other threads to execute temporarily. Okay. Now the next that method is suspended, and the modifier that is void, and it is used to suspend the thread. Okay. Now next one is destroy method, and the modifier that is void. It is used to destroy the thread group and all of its subgroup. Okay. And the next method that is stop method, and its modifier that is void, and it is used to stop the thread. It is used to stop the thread. Now next method is daemon. Daemon method that modifier is boolean. It tests if the thread is a daemon thread. Now next method that is set daemon method, and modifier is void. It marks the thread as daemon or use thread. Now next one method that is interrupt method, and the modifier is void. It interrupts the thread. Now we will see some what we can say as other method that is toString method, and the modifier is string. It is used to return a string representation of this method including the threads. Okay, I repeat my point, that is, it is used to return a string representation of this thread, including the thread's name, priority, and the thread group. Okay, now we will see what is get context class loader method, and the modifier is class loader. It returns the context class loader for the thread. Now we will see the next, that is what is synchronized in multithreading. Synchronization in Java is the capability to control the access of multiple threads to any shared resources. Java synchronization is better option where we want to allow one thread to access the shared resources. So, thank you for today's video.